All right, thank you all for being here. Before we get rolling, I want to wish Coach Kellogg and Coach Eilert good luck as they get started. Men play at home tonight in Coach Eilert's first regular season game, and then Coach Kellogg kicks off his tenure tomorrow night. So wish those guys and those teams best of luck, and when things settle down for us, look forward to getting over there and watching some basketball. Great night on Saturday. Again, I want to thank the fans that were here. I thought it had great energy in the stadium. I said that right after the game, but I want to reiterate that. I thought even in pregame, just a really good atmosphere from man trip to the pregame all the way through. Appreciated that. Definitely is a benefit. You know, this can be one of the tougher places to play in our league. So appreciate our fans. Thought we played very well on offense and defense. Practiced and prepared well. Thought we earned the opportunity to go out and perform like we did on Saturday. And I was happy. We got a lot of guys in on offense and defense. Played a lot of people and get some valuable experience. And I thought some of those guys really did a nice job. Two things really disappointed in. One, the penalties, especially the procedure penalties. We haven't had that issue this year. We got to clean that up. And then the second thing is what I'll start with on kind of the recap of the game. Special teams, just very disappointed how we performed on our punt return unit. BYU's punt team had struggled, and we got 0 return yards out of our punt return team. We had 2 penalties on that unit and just played really poor on punt return, and then disappointed in our kickoff. We didn't kick the ball very well. We kicked short kicks with low hang time, which makes it really difficult to cover. And we didn't tackle very well. We didn't fit their return. So disappointed in special teams overall. I thought our field goal team really protected well. Mike continues to be good on field goals. Struggled with kickoffs, but he was really good with field goals and PATs. And then in field goal block team, we continue to get pressure up the middle. I thought we affected the kick that they missed. We just need our core players on special teams to play better. You know, we've got a group there that start on multiple teams and just didn't play well enough. And so we got to get those two, both the punt return unit and our kickoff unit fixed, or we'll get exposed in that. Moving over to defense, the positives, we only allowed 67 yards rushing. And I think anytime you do that in this league, you're going to have a chance. And then end of possession downs. They were 0 of 3 on 4th down, 3 of 11 on 3rd. We got a huge turnover right before half that we were able to turn into points. And thought we flew around, tackled better, fit the runs better. It was good. I thought, very reminiscent of how we played during that 3-game stretch there. We still got to improve our pass rush. I think we ran by the quarterback too much. I thought their kid did a nice job getting the ball out, had a real quick release, and but we got pushed by the quarterback too much. So we got to get that corrected. And our zone drops were better, but we're still off our landmarks, so we still got to be more disciplined in that. And then I thought we had 2 interceptions that hit our hands, and we've had a little bit of an issue on that. We've got to be able to catch those balls. Offensively, the positives: 336 yards rushing, and I forget how many plays we had, but we only had 5 negative yards, the whole game. And that's good. We had 30 first downs, held the ball for 35-plus minutes, really controlled the game there. We've got improvements to make. We got to fix the procedure penalties. The red zone, we had to settle for field goals. The one right before half really didn't have a choice, but the other 2 kind of shot ourselves in the foot. And we were just okay on 3rd down. We've been better. And then the most important thing that we got to continue to work on, we left a ton of pass yards out there. Fundamentally, Garrett's got to get better on some things throwing the football, but we left some passing yards out there. To wrap up that, players of the week, offensive lineman of the week, played extremely well. His best game of the year. Continues to play at a high level, but this was his best game. He graded out 96%, 5 knockdowns, 53 production points. And Zach Frazier was the O-lineman of the week. Special teams player of the week, and this really could be a guy every single week. He plays his position as well as anybody we have on our team, and I think he's one of the best in the country. And that's our long snapper, Austin Brinkman. Was perfect on all his snaps. He's got elite speed and location, and he's as good as anybody in the country. Defense player of the week, we had several guys that could have been our defense player of the week. I thought Lee played well. Lockhart played back the way he was playing early in the year. Ben Cutter played his best game, but this guy really came back strong from not his best performance a week ago. He had 5 tackles and really communicated great, had great energy, and that's Anthony Wilson. Offensive Player of the Week, Jaheim White, 16 carries, 146 yards. And he's been really good with the ball the last 2 weeks, and he played better without the ball. Pass protection, run blocking, those type of things. We give a blue collar award. These are guys that may don't show up in the stat sheet, but played really well. Offensively, Brandon Yates played 3 positions in the game. Played both guards, played center. Came back after getting banged up a little bit early in the game, and he's playing at a high level and. He's gotten better every year, but he's made a huge jump since last year. And then the other one on offense was Preston Fox. Really made some difficult catches. The touchdown was special, but just blocked and did a great job on the perimeter. Played almost every snap. And then the two guys on defense, I talked about Ben Cutter. He played his best game. He had a sack, a tackle for a loss, made a tackle on kickoff, and definitely his best game. And then the other guy, this guy's playing his best football of his career in special teams and on defense, and that's Jalen Thornton. Back-to-back weeks has made plays on the D-line. Scout team players of the week on offense, it was Sean Boyle. He's getting better, and he did a really good job giving those guys a look last week. And then on defense, DJ Cotton, a kid that walked on here that's going to be a player for us on the D-line. And then on special teams, this guy does a nice job. His brother is a high-level swimmer here as well, and that's Derek Burlitz. And so those are the award winners for the week. And so kind of turning the page to Oklahoma. And another week, another really tough test. This time we're going on the road to play one of the top programs in the country, and it's on primetime TV again. It's at one of the top venues in the country to play, and so our guys will be fired up. Great respect for Coach Venables. Went against him a number of times now, and really good person. He's done really good. I think his defensive work speaks for itself, and he's got that program headed in the right direction. When you look at them, special teams wise, what sticks out is their specialists are good. You know, they went out and got some in the portal, and they're really good. Their kicker returns. He's got a strong leg. He's been really good on field goals. They use a right-footed and a left-footed punter, so we have to really pay attention to who's in the game there. They're dangerous at returner. Farouk is a really strong receiver, and he's really good at kickoff return. He's a big kid, but he runs like a running back. A really natural player. Offensively, Levy does a great job. He's been doing it at a bunch of different places now, UCF and Ole Miss and now at Oklahoma. They play as fast as anybody in the country, so alignment's going to be critical. They move their pieces around. You know, Drake Stoops is a guy that he's kind of their jack of all trades. He does a little bit of everything, and he's playing at a high level right now. They're balanced. They're always good up front. I think Bill does as good a job from a recruiting and then developing those guys, and seems like he has a couple NFL players every single year. And their right tackle will be a first-round pick. This is the 4th, and I think this speaks to our league. People don't talk about this probably, but this is the 4th first-round pick on potential first-rounder we're going to play on an opposing team's offensive line, And so, but Bill does a really good job. They're a group that challenges in a lot of different ways with RPOs and in the run and the pass. And then, last but definitely their most important cog is their quarterback. Dylan Gabriel. He's played at a high level. He can run. He's got a really quick release. Kids won, both at UCF and at Oklahoma, so a lot of respect for him. Defensively, they're multiple. They're going to put pressure on you, mix up the coverages. I think that unit takes the personality of their leader, and that's Coach Venables. And they're attacking. You can see that they're enjoying playing for him. They'll mix in some man, some zone, but the one thing they're constantly going to do is get hats to the football. And so, again, big challenge. We're looking forward to get on the road. We've played back-to-back nail-biters versus these guys, and don't expect anything less when we go out to Norman. So with that, questions?
Start with some injury stuff. I mean, Doug's status, Hudson's status, and also along with Doug, what has Nick Malone meant in being able to fill for Wyatt.
You're really
1
stretching
week.
me right here with these 3 questions at once.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll try here. Let me go. Start with the first one here.
You got to remember him first.
Yeah, I got it. I'm working on it. So Doug moved around today. We'll know more as the week goes. I think he's questionable, but definitely could play. Okay. And then on Hudson could have played in an emergency in the game on Saturday. He practiced a little bit last week. I don't think he's 100%. So we made the decision that we weren't. He dressed and what could have been ready, but we made the decision not to play him until he gets 100%. He practiced today. We're hopeful that he can really help us. You know, he's big playability, and so we're hopeful that he can play. But he's dealing with an ankle, and, you know, some of those times they just take a little while. And then Nick has played Malone's played a ton of football for us. You know, that was his best game of his career on Saturday. Really in pass pro in the run game, played really well. And, you know, he's played now in, I think, five of our 9 games. Quite a few snaps on the offensive line. He's played in every game, whether at tackle or tight end. So he's versatile, very smart. Plays on our field goal team, plays on our punt team, and so he's a guy that's positioning himself. Really, he's got an opportunity to go play. You know, after another year, he's got an opportunity to go play at the next level.
Tight end leading in receiving, and if it happens here, it'd be the first time in 33 years.
You talking about for the year? Yeah, no, I haven't. I say this: we had the Amaro kid at Texas Tech my last year, and he got hurt. He probably would have been our leading receiver that year, but he got hurt, and then he came back the following year for Cliff, and I think he was their leading receiver before he got drafted there with the Jets. But no, this probably not. You know, I'd have to think about it, but right off the top of my head, John, no.
He's averaging 12 yards a catch. You're getting the ball down the field to him.
Yeah, we're trying to. You know, we tried the other night. He had a great run after a catch on the touchdown. He really mistimed his jump on the first kind of downfield throw we had on the opening drive. Garrett threw a nice ball, and Cole just kind of mistimed his jump for it. But we are. You know, there's things that he's got to continue to work on. He's got to play big sometimes in the pass game. He's improving in the run game. You know, he's got to hold his lines, but we're going to continue getting the ball. He's a matchup problem. He's got great ball skills. Some of the things we're doing in the run game, it leads to tight ends having success.
So you mentioned a lot in the offseason about him being a pass catcher, and so it's not too much surprising to that end, but is it exactly where the plan was? Because it's also kind of been a roller coaster with some of the receivers this year, and now Hudson being hurt. Like, is this ideal, or would you rather?
No, I think that going into the year, we really felt like that Cole and Devin were going to be the 2 guys that had played quite a bit of football. We knew we had talent at receiver, but we knew there was going to be some ups and downs, and like you said, a little bit of a roller coaster, and that happens with young players. But we felt like that Cole and Devin would probably be our most targeted guys, and they've been to this point. And I think we've missed them on some throws, you know, and they've got to do some better things in the route game. But I'm not surprised that those 2 guys are probably our most targeted.
Can you live with a 50% pass completion percentage if you're throwing it downfield? I mean, if these were screens, you'd be really.
Yeah, you know, so we're throwing the ball down the field quite a bit more. You know, and I just felt like, why throw it underneath if our completion percentage is about the same? So like, I'm just like, let's throw it further down the field. And no, and with that, you know, we are calling more down the field. So now we should be closer to 55 to 60%, and that's the next step for Garrett. He's playing really well. There's 2 things. It's from a fundamental standpoint, you know, like he's got to get his body aligned, and he falls off to the left sometimes. We got to get those 2 things fixed, and he does it. He's not as consistent with it as, you know, he threw as good a ball as you're going to see anybody throw all year to Preston on the touchdown. But those 2 fundamental issues he's got to correct, and he's got to correct them all the time. The second thing is he's got to take some of the the heat off. He can throw a changeup every once in a while. You know, like it's a lot of fastballs. So we got to take off. We got to relax on that a little bit.
Neal, he picked 14th in the league at the preseason and asked players about it, and they've all come back and said it's provided a chip on the shoulder, and you're still bringing that up at times. How much was it this summer, and how much do you still use that as motivation?
Well, I think motivation's important. I've kind of enjoyed reading some of with the passing of Bob Knight, kind of reading some of his thoughts on motivation. Some of them are simple but true. But I think that it's something that we keep in front of them, because until the year's over, like, we still have something to prove. And it all starts with that. That's what people thought of us. That's what they thought of this program at the start of the year. And we're out to prove that wrong right up until the end. And so that's kind of, we're using it as motivation. It's the truth, though. I mean, that's where we were picked. It's not like we're embellishing on that we were picked to finish last, and Oklahoma was picked to finish in the top 3. And so that's what it is.
In the sense of motivation, obviously last year, a big win for the program, first time with both in the Big 12, but Oklahoma leaving the conference. Anything this could be the last time for a long time West Virginia has a chance at Oklahoma?
Nah, we just got a sour taste in our mouth about the last time we were there. We got beat on a walk-off field goal. Felt like we were in control of the game, and with an opportunity to win it. And we have turned it over on downs, and then they win it late. And so that's really the motivation. I know y'all get, somebody or Tony was asking me about the schedule when it got released last week, and I was like, I don't really care. I don't care who we play in our league, or I don't care if we play all of them or none of them. I don't care that Texas or Oklahoma's leaving. I really don't care. And I don't mean that bad toward Texas or Oklahoma. It's just like, all right, who's in our league? Commissioner's going to take care of that. We're positioned pretty well, and whoever we have to play, hopefully we don't have to do back-to-backs on the West Coast. Other than that, I don't really care.
You came into the season and there was a lot of questions about your future, yet you played and wound up having a number of freshmen as key members of your team. I mean, the emphasis on playing freshmen, using freshmen, and recruiting freshmen, it was someone whose future is questionable. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I don't think it was anything deep. You just play your best players, and I think you want to, if you have a choice between talent and experience, and I'm not the only coach you'll hear say this, if you have a choice between talent and experience, you're going to take talent. And they're going to take some lumps. There's going to be some lessons, sometimes hard lessons that those young players have to learn. But you want to play talent. And I felt good. I feel really good about our evaluation process, especially at the positions where we've been leaning on young players. And so it wasn't a whole lot of deep thought put into it. Is they got in, some of them here in the spring, some of them in fall camp. It was clear that they were talented. Let's put them in a position where they can have success, where their confidence can continue to grow. And then when we got to really lean on them, let's lean on them.
You guys, you have, I mean, they're explosive players. I mean, Hudson and Waite.
Traylon Ray. Yeah, so if you look at it, mostly offensive skill positions is kind of where we're playing them. And I think that bodes well. We've got to do some things after the season to retain them. That's just the world we live in. But when you look at it, Hudson's a redshirt freshman, and he's not just a feel good story. He's a real player. And then Jaheim White, I'm zero surprised that he's kind of burst on the scene. He's really talented. Traylon Ray, he's doing all this, and he played really well on Saturday, and he didn't even have a spring ball, and he got here halfway through the summer. And so he's going to be a special player here. Rodney is really good with the ball in his hands, and after an off season, he gets stronger and really learns how to run routes. He's even going to be better. And we feel good about our young offensive linemen we have in our program too. And then on defense with Ben Cutter, and if Josiah Trotter was healthy, he'd be playing as a true freshman. And so there's guys. And here's the other thing. I think sometimes we forget guys if they're not playing immediately. Like, everybody's past different. Like, some of these guys that are redshirting are going to be really, really good players here. Like, just thinking about James Hurd. Like, James Hurd is redshirting just because he needs the physical maturity, but he's going to be a great player. You know, it's just a matter of when, not if. And, like, I could talk the same about Johnny Williams or Nick Cray or people like that. So we feel really good about our freshman class. But I'm not surprised those offensive skill guys are playing and they're starting to be productive.
Are you not doing the Juice Award anymore?
Yeah, we are. I shouldn't. I didn't. I felt guilty because I didn't announce it. I'll go back a couple weeks, Mike, since you asked. No, so like I need to. So Ronan Swope, who is our third string punter, he's almost a permanent Juice Award. All right, winner. And then Nick Cray has done a really nice job. And then this week, Nate Flower from Fairmont. A red shirt, a true freshman. He's redshirting from Fairmont. So I'm on it. You called me out. You were exactly right. And what I did, I got it written down on my sheet. And I was like, I forgot it last week, so I better not do it this week. But you gave me an opening.
Less some smart aleck guy.
Hold on, Mike. He had a question. Hold on. You get back now.
Yeah. Like the hybrid term for guys like defenders. You think linebackers, safeties, and linebackers, but like. The way you're using Gallagher, it's not like a tight end receiver, like a running back receiver too. I'm not sure it's perpetual, but it does seem to fit right now. But is that a guy who in years could have a number of carries and receptions, or is he going to gravitate toward receiver and this is just the best way to use him?
Yeah, so what we're doing right now is just putting him in the best position to be successful. Now, he played, if you go back and look at the snaps in the game, he played more true receiver in this game. And there's just a number of things that have to go right for a receiver to get the ball. So we called several pass plays for him, and for whatever reason, and same with Cole, the ball didn't find them. But when you hand it to him, you can definitely determine they're going to get it. I think he's going to be a guy as he progresses and really learns how to run routes. He's going to be good in the middle of the field. He's going to be a guy that we can run some option routes with and things like that once he gets a better feel for the top of the routes. But I think as his career progresses, we're going to get him the ball, handing it to him. I think he's a guy too that we can use at some different. He can play some wildcat and some things like that once he gets a little thicker because he played all that in high school. That's kind of what his background is. He's got great ball skills, which you see a lot of times in guys that handle the ball a lot in basketball, he understands sports. He understands he's a quick learner. And so we'll continue to find ways, but we are being creative right now. But he is getting better as a receiver.
Down the line, is there a room for White and Donaldson on the field at the same time?
Yeah, we tried to do it the other day, and then CJ got stepped on, and he's fine. But we were going to play a little bit more two-back in the game, and so I think time and place. It just depends on how defenses play different personnel groups. You've heard me say this before. Is like if you're going to play both running backs, they just got to block. Because you're taking somebody else out of the game, so they got to be able to block. Mike, do you have a follow up? I'm sorry.
Question. Oliver, the true freshman, he's steamrolled a guy on kickoff return.
He made a great play.
Is he a 4-game guy or? Do you
so I got to make a decision. Yeah, he's played 4 games right now, and so we got to. I'll meet with him later on today, and we got to figure that out. But he's played. He started on 3 units. Yeah, and he's done that 2 weeks in a row. And I like him. He's a really good football player. He started both ways in high school, and he's physical, and that was a great play. That's by far the best play we had on special teams the other night was the one he had.
He does play. Is he just a special teamer, or do you try to get him?
Then we would, if he's going to play, we need to use him some too. I think it's only fair to him. So, but I don't have an answer for that yet.
Best portal class that you've gotten? You've got a lot
Well, I don't know.
of kids in this group.
It's so young in it. We've had some hits. We got some misses too. I'm not going to talk about those, but it's like anything else. I'll tell you what we've done. You think about it. Defensively is Beanie Bishop, Day Hawkins, Tyron Bradley, Anthony Wilson. We added guys that are making contributions, but they've been really good in the locker room too, which I think, that may be as important as anything. And like Beanie, just use him as an example. He's done a really good job from a mentoring standpoint. And I think I've talked about this maybe a little bit before, but he's done a really good job from a mentoring standpoint. So I think you live and as you go through this is still relatively new. You figure out kind of what your niche is. And then not only what type of player you're looking for, what's the best fit. And we've made some mistakes in the last couple of years, but we've also had some big hits too. And I think we've got a better kind of system for what our hits, why we hit on some kids, why we missed on some kids, And so when it opens up again in the not too distant future, I think we'll have a lot more hits than we did misses.
You have to be as aggressive pretty much every year when it comes to bringing guys in, or?
I don't know. I'm not in that mode yet. I think in fairness, but I'm gonna say yes. I just think I think you're gonna see this where you're gonna have, probably a third of your rosters turned over every year. And I may even be conservative with that. And so I think you got to work to retain your best players. You're not going to retain every player that you want to retain. That's kind of what it is. And then in your position of need, you're going to have to be really aggressive. And I think too is I think that you'll see more people that are a little bit younger. Like it's been a lot of older kids, but some younger guys. There's some like Tommy is a great example. Like he's a kid that didn't play, but redshirted, and he's having a big impact. So I think, those are some of the lessons you learn as well. Okay, is that it? All right, thank you all.